What's up, Starcraft fans? This video is brought to you by Lucerna Sempiternus, who is supporting me in the Pulse Cannon tier. Pulse Cannon tier supporters or higher are guaranteed one video redemption per month. This month, he requested that I do a solo Nexus Coop mission using only Raynors, Marines, and SCVs. I can use the 3 long-range skills to support, but I cannot make Raynor leave the base. So I can use Raynor to defend, but he can't leave the base. So as long as Raynor stays in the base, he should be fine. So the only units I'm actually allowed to have are SCVs and Marines. So once again, to do that, first we go to Custom, then Arcade, search Nexus Coop, then we'll find here the custom arcade game made by the Chinese community. You can have a game on your own, or a game with a friend, or maybe an enemy, as long as you both agree to play the same game, but you will be teammates, so maybe not enemy. Now we're in the lobby, click start game, and just wait for the game to load. Again, here we have the screen thingy where you can read all about Nexus Coop. It is essentially a custom game where you can take different versions of commanders and even all new commanders and use them to play the co-op missions as designed by Blizzard. The commanders are player-made, player-designed. The maps are Blizzard's. For Raynor, the masteries we will use are continuous combat ability. It doesn't really do anything, he just stays there. But in his base, he can't die as easily. And then I'll use equipment transport cooldown so I can switch when he's defending the base, and arms wholesale so that, well, this is actually the only useful one, because Lucerna Sempiternus clarified that I can use planetaries as long as Raynor himself stays in the base. So I will use the arms wholesale to buy a lot of planetaries to play minor evac. The plan here is to just keep dropping planetaries on the evacuation ships and have those defend the infested. So let's see how this works out. Map is loading. It will be minor evacuation. You can see here Nexus Coop, minor evacuation. The objective is to fight our way to the evacuation ships, and once they try to launch, we will have to defend them from waves of infested. So let's actually just hop straight into the game. Go. So you can see Raynor is producing on the top left. You can see Raynor. Yeah, he's gonna be available in about a minute. The build I will use will be geared toward getting Raynor really fast to defend the base. Which base? The expansion, of course. So as long as Raynor doesn't leave the expansion, we should be fine. And would you look at that? The first ship is in the center of the map. That is actually where the expansion is. So the plan for me is to defend the expansion while Raynor is launching the evacuation ship. So that is actually the plan here. Once this engineering base ready, I'll be able to buy the first upgrade, which will turn the first power-up into the planetary action. So how Raynor works in Nexus Coop is he gains several abilities from Swan's Armory. He has the sniper rifle, a grenade, and a bit of healing by default, and as Raynor gets more and more kills, he will gain little power-up things that he can use to switch his abilities into one of these other power-ups. My power-up of choice will be this guy, the planetary, and I have gotten this upgrade from the engineering base to ensure that the first power-up I get will be the planetary fortress, so I can defend the ships using those. I'm starting to get upgrade this detection. This upgrade just detection for Raynor. That will help him see Cloaky Boys, although I'm not sure how useful that will be. I might as well get it. It's inexpensive and it's pretty quick to research. You can see the expansion is making Now, I would qualify this as a base because it is close to minerals, and there's a structure where SCVs will return minerals to, and they will in fact use this structure to return minerals. You can see Raynor walking around here. Once this upgrade completes, he will get this second upgrade that will allow him to, I believe, have extra 200 health. I believe this upgrade gives him extra 200 health, so he just lasts longer when he fights. You can see I'm still continuously producing workers because that will increase my income, and I will need a lot of income for this game because the planetaries are quite expensive.
I've got a ship that can't wait any longer.
You can see I'm just floating this command center over here, and once this has enough, or once the cooldown is off, that you can actually see here, there's an R ability to the top right of the command center that will allow you to summon Raynor to the location of the command center. You can see the cooldown is almost available. Once it sits down, you need to land this. Once the cooldown is done, oh, would you look at that? I just walk Raynor to this base. So he's technically not fighting, he is moving toward the expansion, which does count as a base. And Lucerna Sempiternus did specify that as long as Raynor doesn't leave the base, Raynor should be fine. So I start this armory here, this ammunition depot. This is where Raynor will buy more stuff to defend with. So Raynor will shoot these guys from here, and I'm actually creating a choke point here. The reason I placed this ammunition depot here is mainly so that Raynor can funnel the guys into a narrow choke point while defending, so he doesn't get fully surrounded by infested, and he can just fight here, continue. You can see these enemies are trying to surround Raynor, but they can only shoot one at a time essentially, and that will allow Raynor to stay alive for a very long time. So now we can see I have bought my first planetary. So how this works is, if you have Raynor close to the ammunition depot, he can buy more charges of the ammunition, which for him is this planetary. Since I've gotten the upgrade from Swan's Armory, and I've completed the upgrade, and now I have bought a charge of the planetary, and I've dropped it right here. So this planetary will do the majority of holding down defense, where it is just literally at the base. That's what he's doing. He's defending right at the base, as defined by me, somewhat fraudulently, but quite effectively.
That ship's getting out of here. No need to commit any more forces to it.
Command center is flying toward the landing area. Raynor is still defending this base. And now, the unit that I'm allowed to use, the Marines, are on the field. They will help me bring these enemies down. Meanwhile, Raynor just defends this area, aka the base. Statman's laboratory will allow me to upgrade my power-ups, aka my planetary fortress, and allow it to survive for even longer. You can see the Marines, these are the only guys I'm allowed to use, and they are summoned directly from this mercenary compound. So what you do is you rally the mercenary compound anywhere in the map, summon the Marines, or yeah, in this case the Marines. I can summon any of these guys here, but again, for this challenge, I'm only allowed to summon Marines. So I right-click the mercenary compound here, and I call down more Marines when the situation calls for it. Shoot down the bailing, make sure it doesn't deal splash damage on my guys. Have continuous worker production. You can see I'm saturating my minerals first because each one of the planetaries costs 740 gas, or rather 740 minerals and a bit of gas. It's actually critical that I keep harvesting as many minerals as possible. Starting the ship.
Meanest Zerg I've ever seen. You might want to take it out if you can.
That is actually quite unfortunate. So these Marines have timed out, but just in time to allow me to call down the next planetary fortress, which will defend this area. So you can see this planetary fortress, it's called the Caesar Planetary Fortress. It's armored, it's mechanical, it's a building, and it is heroic. It will defend all these guys. Meanwhile, I have these SCVs running around here for A, repairing the planetary from damage, and B, collecting the power-ups. These are the powers, by the way, these yellow gear things. You pick them up, and then you upgrade the thing from Swan's Armory. So you can see that the type of power-up that you get is determined the moment you pick up the power-up. And all you can do really is whether to buy it or to not buy it. In most cases, you just buy it because Raynor is usually active on the map. In this case, I don't need to buy them because I will not be able to use them anymore. Most of these abilities can only be used by Raynor himself when he's in this base. But for this scenario, I'm not allowed to leave the base with Raynor, so I will all use the long-range ones, such as the planetary. More power-ups, I will get that. The Marines have expired. So now it's all on this planetary. Defend the area. And they successfully do.
Keep it up, and we'll get everyone safe
Of course,
evacuated.
call down Marines here. Because, again, Marines are the only unit I'm actually allowed to use. Okay, Raynor, you shouldn't really leave the base. Here's some more guys trying to attack me. And down it goes. You gotta shoot that egg down.
I think Lightbringer is gonna burrow
There's
under the
pretty much
ground.
no chance of doing that
One
bonus with this
caution, do it fast.
restriction that I can't leave the base with Raynor. So now instead I try to hug this wall over here and try to shoot the Hyperion attack from over here. I might have launched it prematurely, but who cares? It sounds cool. Yeah, I got some shots firing from there. See, it just breaks down the barracks like it was nothing.
The enemy's attack will be upon us soon.
Attack waves on the way, but again, Raynor can defend the base.
Won't keep the infested
The only
out
thing
long.
he's not allowed to do is
Fight
leave
them
the
all.
base. Mashing down these guys. Another planetary. Meanwhile, I have this bunker defending here. I thought I needed SCVs to repair it. Turns out I didn't. Because the bunker is plenty on its own with its 825 health and its rapid repair. You can see the planetary is actually just holding its ground. It's doing just fine. I call out another planetary because why not at this point? I can afford it. You can see these guys just drawing aggro from the enemies. They don't need to kill all these guys. They have like 7 Banshees or something over here. Now 8 Banshees. The planetaries don't have to win the fight. They just have to last long enough to launch the ship.
Gotta hold off the infested. Those monsters
That's actually a lot of
already
Banshees.
clawing through the hull.
That's actually so many Banshees, my goodness.
Evacuation
But again,
efforts
it
are
doesn't
going
matter
well, commanders.
because
Gotta keep
all I have to do
protecting their
is not die. Or rather, not lose the ship. I can
Those
let the
Eradicators are
planetaries
hiding.
die as long as
Could
we
be
don't lose the ship.
dangerous. If you can, try to break them down.
I apparently got a Kerrigan here somehow.
Lightbringers made it to
I don't know how I got the
Scotland.
Kerrigan, but
Neither.
you know,
They'll be somewhere out there.
that is a thing.
Incoming
That is certainly a
enemy
thing.
attack. They're headed for one of the ships.
I could probably use this for a clickbait thumbnail. Like just have Kerrigan here standing at the base. Meanwhile, Raynor is standing over here. I don't know how to make use of Kerrigan here. Does Kerrigan kind of leave the base or something? I don't really know. Anyway, planetary has arrived. And now we're ready to start. We probably should just start it.
Can't thank you enough for this.
Because I do have the income. You can see Raynor just keeps standing beside this ammunitions depot. That will just keep allowing him to replenish the planetary charges. Planetary already with 31 kills. This is gonna get 46. Planetary is actually doing all the work. I know it says that I'm only allowed to use Marines, but hey. I asked them whether I could use planetaries. I asked Lucerna Sempiternus whether I could use planetaries, and he explicitly said yes. As long as Raynor doesn't leave the base. And there he is, just chilling out in the base. Clearing out these guys. This one's actually about to time out, so I call it a second, or rather a third planetary. Oh, wait, what happened here?
Brace yourselves. Enemy forces are inbound.
I like how regular Kerrigan's standing on one side, and infested Kerrigan's disembodied voice is standing on another. Or just announcing it on another side. I can't English today, my goodness. But anyway, I think this is close to launching, so we should be fine.
If the Eradicators re-enter the facility, you won't be able to
Yeah,
reach
Kerrigan
them.
just
You gotta
chilling there.
move it if you wanna hit 'em.
Planet is actually doing incredibly well.
Have liftoff. At least some of us will survive this mess.
Don't even have to worry about anything at all. Because the planetaries do a great job of just aggroing fire. It's incredible. It's just incredible. Lost a guy there. Raynor shoots down these guys, makes it not a thing. Now we have Marines shooting down this barracks. We have 4 more charges of Marines here.
Upgrade complete.
Just a cleaning house. I don't think I ever got upgrades on these war pigs.
The enemy
That is
has
slightly
a beeline
unfortunate.
toward a ship. Don't let them reach it.
Planetaries here.
Just left their base. We don't have much time.
Marines cleaning out the bailing base. So all we gotta do now is... Ooh, Kerrigan's standing here. What's the plan, Kerrigan? This should be the last one, right?
Keep holding the line.
Yeah, this is the last one.
Evacuation is
Nice.
almost complete.
Planetary strategy, very solid. Yeah, what about second planetary? One planetary is good. What about second planetary? You could say that this strategy is planetary-able. Just like this joke. But anyway, doesn't matter. As long as I win. I like how those little rockets launch into space. Kind of funny. Oh, meanwhile, Raynor is standing over here and summon a Hyperion charge to clear out these bases. Okay, I lost a planetary there. Just replace it instantly. And add another, because I can.
Forget about it.
And another. Just to really make sure that we don't lose the planetaries. That seems like a wise investment to just double up your defenses, make sure that you're secure. And looks like once these eggs have hatched, these planetaries don't even need to fight anymore. They just let the front ones fight, or they just let they just let the front ones do the fighting for them. There we go. Nailed it. First try. Anyway, 6, 5 seconds remaining on the ship. Drop another planetary for good measure, and I believe that is game. So I did use Marines and SCVs, and no other unit,
Enough, commanders.
but it did use a lot of the planetary. And I made Raynor defend the expansion, which is still the base. So that is this challenge completed. Thank you, Lucerna Sempiternus. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for what else you do, please leave that in a comment. I'll see you guys next time.